Горит танк. Вот так вот. БК детонировал, танку хана.
One of the strategies of the Ukrainian armed forces is to cut off Russian river crossings, preventing the enemy from moving heavy weapons and supplies forward. Recently, Ukrainian aviation carried out a precision strike in the east, destroying a Russian crossing that was under preparation. Ground forces had already attempted demolition but couldn't fully complete it, so the Air Force finished the job with accuracy. By targeting these crossings, Ukraine is not only slowing down Russian advances, but also complicating their logistics, forcing the invaders to find alternative routes under constant threat of attack. Phoenix drone crews struck Russian logistics in Donetsk, destroying 3 motorcycles, a quad, a car, 2 UAZ Bukanka vans, a truck with ammo, and a T-80 tank. Ukrainian Phoenix drone crews have become a fast, lethal element on the battlefield. Small, nimble teams who combine careful reconnaissance, nimble flying, and rapid decision-making to strike high-value targets. Operating modified commercial and purpose-built loitering munitions, these crews scout enemy positions from standoff ranges, identify supply nodes, artillery positions, and soft-skinned vehicles, then guide precision attacks that disrupt Russian logistics and command and control. Their typical mission tempo is high. Short launch windows, quick target acquisition, and immediate strike or retasking if the situation changes. Recent operations have focused on interdiction, taking out pontoon bridges and river crossing sites, hitting ammo trains and fuel columns, and knocking out forward command posts to create local chaos ahead of Ukrainian maneuvers. What makes Phoenix crews especially effective is their mix of technical improvisation and operational discipline. They adapt payloads and flight profiles to each target, coordinate with artillery and air assets, and then disappear before counterfire can pin them down. Russian self-propelled artillery has become increasingly rare on the front lines, due to its vulnerability to longer-ranged Western artillery systems and Ukrainian drone strikes. The gunners have reportedly been transferred to the infantry. Russian war correspondent Maxim Kalashnikov reports, "I met some guys from a neighboring company. Mobilized, they'd been at the front for over 3 years. They were in self-propelled artillery. They'd studied the vehicles thoroughly. They started firing their obsolete and outdated guns more or less reliably. After all, each of these pieces of iron has its own peculiarities that must be taken into account for accurate shooting. So what? Now they're all in the infantry. And where's the equipment? Where are the self-propelled guns, SPGs now? Equipment that can't compete with the Western artillery in service with the Ukrainian armed forces in either range or accuracy is rusting somewhere in open storage areas. Oh well, iron is iron. If it breaks, wears out. That's what the defense industry is for. It's supposed to produce new ones. And these new ones would be manned by knowledgeable people with extensive combat experience. You can't just pick up specialists on the street. But for some reason, commanders send professional artillerymen to the infantry. That's how we fight. Kalashnikov reports that gunners being transferred to the infantry is a fairly widespread phenomenon. He doesn't say why it is happening, but it's likely to be due to personnel shortages resulting from Russia's huge daily losses on the front lines. He rightly points out the counterproductive nature of this. It's a criminal act because this is how valuable specialists are lost. Considering that the war demonstrated how far we fell behind NATO in artillery, in the 1990s it leaped ahead, surpassing the USSR's guns in range by 1.5 times and in accuracy by an order of magnitude. This practice is doubly criminal. The Ministry of Defense's passivity in taking into account experienced personnel in artillery, as well as in drones, is triply criminal. A Russian tank is burning on the Zaporizhzhia axis after a Ukrainian drone strike. Lavrov at the UN once again repeated Moscow's usual delusions. Ukraine should forget about the 2022 borders. NATO is encircling all of Eurasia. Germany is renazifying. And if NATO dares to intercept Russian flying objects, it will regret it.
We never attack civilian targets. Incidents happen, but we never aim fire at them. And we never direct our drones or missiles at states located in Europe, members of the European Union and countries of the North Atlantic Alliance. Yes, once again, if the Poles really wanted to sort this out, we offered a meeting, immediately offered a meeting, but no one ever wants to discuss the fact, the examples where we were accused, and then it turned out that it was the Ukrainians who struck both the market and the maternity hospital and many other examples. We know them well. It's just that when the noise of the initial accusations passes, journalists, including those who raised the noise, no longer want to delve into these issues.
Maybe they are simply not allowed, but we are always open to an honest conversation.
Zelensky on Russian drones. Europe must recognize Russia's intimidation tactics and reconsider importing its energy. Drones reached our partners. Just check the map. If they're Russian, how did they get there? One way is through European waters used by Russia's fleet, he said, calling for comprehensive restrictions, not selective ones.
For Alexander Fesenko, I believe that Europe is a wrong bleach. Look at these drones. Look at all these threats and intimidation from Russia. Europe should also understand these intimidations, these hints. It's strange if they continue to import energy resources from the Russian Federation, for example. You see, the drones reached our Nordic partners. The question is, from where? Well, a person can sit down, open a map, and get an idea of where these drones are from, if they are Russian. One of the possibilities is the continuation of the Russian Federation's fleet, using the waterways of our European friends and partners. Therefore, when we say that this is a comprehensive solution, it is not only about energy, but also the shadow fleet, and in principle, stopping Russia's ability to trade, export by water, by sea, various goods is also an important outcome.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.